What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man Lincoln Clay, and we are back with another stream of Assetto Corsa Competizione on PS5 using the Drivehub adapter. Thought we'd get a few laps in, and but I thought long and hard about this session before I went live, and as the title suggests, this could be my last Assetto Corsa Competizione stream on PS5. It was a hard decision, but ultimately, what it's going to come down to is PSVR 2 tipping the scales. And I say that because once PSVR 2 launches and I'm playing GT7 in VR, uh, I've been letting you guys know that I plan to do at least 2 streams a week of GT7 on PSVR 2. I had a lot of fun yesterday, despite the stuff that I was complaining about. And now I realize after yesterday's stream and then coming back to this game on PS5, I realize now I kind of got to shut up about the complaining because both games have things that are unforgiving and both games have things that are forgiving. So some of the things that I normally wouldn't be able to get away with on ACC, I was able to get away with on the GT7 and vice versa. So it's give or take. But coming back to why the big reason why this could be my last ACC stream on PS5 is because once PSVR 2 launches, um, this game here, ACC on PS5, will be the only sim racing game that I play that does not have VR support. Over on PC, I have ACC, Automobilista 2, R Factor 2, Race Room, um, Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa, the Dirt Rally games. I mean, I have a ton of racing games on PC, and all of them have VR support. So on PC, when I jump from sim racing game to sim racing game, with all of those games having VR support, I only need a few minutes to get adjusted to the physics of that game, and then I'm good to go. Um, I think that once PSVR 2 hits and I start trying to lay down this new format and this new schedule, I think it's going to kind of hold me back a little bit, flip flopping back and forth between flat screen racing and VR racing. Um, One of the reasons why I put as much time into this game as I did is once it got the next gen patch and we got the 4K 60, no question it is beautiful and it runs great. And one of the reasons why I put so much time in, tried to put time into this game on PS5 is to try to prove to myself and whoever's watching that I think this game with the latest update, I think this game runs good enough that I think it could be crossplay with PC. Um, I think there would be a trade off. I would love to see this game on consoles get crossplay with PC, but I think the trade off would probably be in the lower tier races. You're probably going to have a lot more wrecks. Um, and I say that because I think more people are using controllers on the console version of this game versus the PC version. So that's not a knock on the skills of the people that play this game. It's a knock on the controller method that the people use on console. I think more people use controllers on console. So, um, but yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. I mean, I play GT7 on PSVR. It'll take me a few minutes to get adjusted to the physics, despite how much I complain. I take that headset off, jump on PC, jump into ACC on PC. Um, I played that enough that there's no adjustment to be made. Just jump right in and go. I would just need a few laps to, um, just get acclimated to the tracks that I'm on and the conditions. I jump into Automobilista 2, same thing. The physics are a little bit different. My force feedback works a little bit different with Automobilista 2, but I would only need a few minutes to get adjusted because it's in VR and it's beautiful in VR, and so on and so on and so on. And if I jump on GT7 on PSVR, then ACC on PC in VR, and then Automobilista 2 in VR, and then come back to this flat screen, it's gonna fuck me all up. Um, Looking back at the replays of some of these sessions, I might be doing a 3 hour stream on this game on PS5, and shit doesn't start to click until like 2 hours into the stream. And then when I finally get acclimated to racing flat screen again, and then I go back to PC, then I go back to VR, then it's another adjustment to be made. So I don't want to go back and forth with that stuff, and especially with GT7 on PSVR, when that hits, not only do I plan to put more time into that game, I'm planning to be competitive. I want to try to win races. And like I said, flip flopping back and forth between flat screen and VR is just going to slow me down because I'm not learning anything. I'm constantly adjusting. So there's a difference between adjusting and learning. So so yeah, before I went live, I did a few practice laps, and and it just felt totally different. And then not only that, when I go from VR to flat screen, I have to drastically change my steering sensitivity. Um, so, case in point, when I race in VR, I used to have my steering sensitivity set to 800. Over time, I dropped it and dropped it and dropped it and dropped it to where I think I'm good with I've kind of settled on 550. When I jump over to GT7 or ACC on PS5, I have to drop the steering sensitivity all. And the reason for that is because with me racing in flat screen, the brake markers come at me so much faster than they do in VR. Because the screen is smaller, I'm having to look, well, not so much because the screen is smaller because I'm on a 65-inch TV, but the depth isn't there. And then some things I don't see until it's boom right there in front of my face. Whereas in VR, I can look hundreds of yards down the track and see something and know that it's coming. And so the purpose of having to make the steering sensitivity tighter is is to be able to react quicker and not have to crank it all the way over. I can just make a quarter turn or a half turn versus having to flip it all the way over like that. So that's an adjustment too. So I've got steering sensitivity set to 400 on console, and I'm turning like this, and then I jump back over into VR, and then I make this much of a turn. Well, now it's not enough. So the car understeers right off the track. So now I got to spend a few laps getting used to this shit again. And then I have to start braking earlier so I don't understeer off the track. All kinds of stuff. It's constant adjustment, and it's not making me any faster. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna do a few races here, but this could very well be the last ACC stream on PS5, and I'll have to changed the descriptions because originally the plan was to stream this on Twitch, but things change, especially now that LFM has come into the fold as far as Twitch goes. I absolutely love the integration of Twitch with LFM. I think they go together great. So, and that's where I'm moving my LFM, my live LFM races. I've said a few times, I've been saying that for the past couple of weeks. My live LFM races are going to stay on Twitch because I just think that I like the integration much better. Um, and then the other factor is that I plan to be active on my other channels. The Godfather of VR, I'm going to go back to streaming everything VR on that. I'm bringing Beat Saber back. I'm looking to start downloading custom music, bring back the Friday Night Jam, um, get back to doing first person shooters. Now, the campaigns, any games with a lengthy campaign, I'll play it, but could be one of those situations where it could take me a couple of weeks to finish it because it took me months to finish Medal of Honor, um, above and beyond. So uh, that's where we're at, though. So let's jump in here. Another thing, one thing that I've noticed. Okay, we can go to Silverstone. Um, and that's not. This is not a knock on the console version of ACC, but I see that a lot of these rooms have a higher ping than you would see on PC. Being that I'm in North America and a lot of the lobbies that I go into on PC are in the UK and Germany, the ping seems to hover somewhere between 120 and 160. On console, I see a lot of rooms with pings in the 200s. And so, I mean, that's terrible. The latency there would be terrible. Somebody turned in a 201.5. My fastest lap on PC is 2 minutes flat. It's 2 minutes point seven. I don't think I'll come anywhere near that. Not on this. Me racing flat screen and how much time we got left in qualifying. Traction control is on 2. I'll leave that there. Oh boy. Let's go. It feels really weird doing this for the final time. I felt like I left a lot of business unfinished. Oh, had a hesitation there, and oh, damn it. There was another hesitation right there. Oh, the road effects. It's shaking the shit out of me, too. So I think I'm going to have to go in here and turn road effects down. Holy shit, the road effects are turned off. What the fuck? How the hell did the steering lock ended up being 90 degrees on here? No wonder some crazy shit was happening to me. Um, see what that does. Slower than molasses. He's trying to play it safe because this isn't a single player race. That right there was a case of pure lack of concentration. I hit the brakes late and then had to make a hard turn to correct it, and it was about to oversteer. That's another bad thing about racing flat screen. Everything that's in the distance, it looks so small. Oh, crikey. Oh God.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Session is now over. Yellow flag in sector 2. Williams on light in the rear of the car.
Really, dude? Really? And you give me a penalty? Come on, man. I'm not gonna flip out the way I used to, because this is my farewell. See here, this is a 15-minute race, so uh, that should be enough. So I guess, except for when I do podcasts, I guess you guys won't see too much of my ugly mug.
Going double file. Green light, go, go, go.
God damn it, come on!
We've got light damage in the rear.
The start line! We didn't even get to turn one before somebody took me out. I'm getting ready to say some discriminate stuff. Oh boy. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. Um, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna take a jab at console racers, but I'm not gonna do it. Just leave it alone. Nah, I got grass. Oh my god.
You've got some light down
Yeah,
on the front.
I'm done with this race. I got grass and dirt all over the tires. I'm sliding all over the place. That just right there, that sucked the life out of me. Um, that that had to be the most imbecilic shit that I've ever experienced on console, on ACC. I didn't even get to turn one before somebody took me out. And for as much as I'm getting mad, what I'm about to say is not so much a console thing, it's more or less a lower tier thing. You got people who You got two kinds of people in the back. You got the guys that are fastest doing that last to first bullshit, which I do not like. Because when you're in the back with lower tier people, and some of them crack under pressure. And then you have another situation where if you don't get out of their way, they'll push you out of the way because they're trying to get to the front for their little child. Then the other people that you're dealing with are the people in the middle of the pack. The ones that weren't fast enough to be in the top half of the grid. So they're trying to win the damn race on turn one. Now, while I did not want to be discriminate, I'm being truthful in saying that I experienced this kind of shit more on console than I do on PC. Wanted to do some races with me yesterday on GT. I mean, I won't rule out streaming GT7 later on today. But what just happened to me right here on turn one on this game, it almost feels like it helped justify my decision in this probably being the last time that I play ACC on PS5. Variable weather is nice now on daily races. I don't know what took them so long to make this part of the format. I mean, because why introduce? I saw ACC on PlayStation Plus Extra. Thought I'd try this. Hey, grab it! It is a great game, but rather than trash the people on PC, I'll say that, rather than trash the people on console, I'll put it this way. For all the crazy shit that happens on PC, they are more disciplined. You know, you got your gun-ho idiots here and there, because the LFM races that I compete in on PC, a lot of the wrecks come from people trying to race side by side with you. That is another streamer I watched had a plus daily race. In GT7, they were ramming. I expect that in GT7. Um, and I don't know if it would be appropriate for me to say how I feel about certain racers on certain games. But when you're a plus, you close to the tournaments. Okay. I don't know. Driving dirty makes you look so bad. It does. Now, I would have to say, even though I've not played that game in a couple of years, a few years to be in fact, the dirtiest racers that I've ever encountered and the least skilled racers that I've encountered are on Forza Motorsport 7. I won't even talk about Forza Horizon because it was done. That game, in my attention, was done with the intention of being an arcade racer. So when you're racing through countrysides and stuff like that, and somebody knocks you into a house or a building, yeah, that's to be expected. But because it's all in the name of fun, you haven't seen dirty till you play Need for Speed. See, that's another game that I don't take serious as a serious sim racer. So anything that happens in there won't make me upset. Anything that happens in a game like Need for Speed, a game like Forza Horizons, anything that happens in those games won't make me upset because these are people who, in my opinion, are not serious about sim racing. They're just there to have fun. So if they knock you into a house, that's just all part of it. I mean, in my opinion, if you're on Need for Speed or you're on Forza Horizon and you're trying to set a personal best lap time, then I feel you're on the wrong game. I mean, I think games like Forza Horizon and especially Need for Speed shouldn't even post lap times. I mean, because the premise of Need for Speed in the beginning was to try to outrun the cops. And who's going to look at a Delta worried about, oh shit, I just gained half a second on this cop in turn one. But the money's so low, you need to win online. True. So when you P1 and someone trash you, you're thinking about that money loss. Now, from the money standpoint, I guess I can get that. But it still takes me back to the point that with me feeling like these are arcade racers, you have to go in and expect that you're going to get knocked around. I think going into a arcade racer like Forza Horizons or Need for Speed, going into those races expecting not to get knocked off the track is like going into a boxing match and expecting not to get hit. Because I'm sure it's people in those races with the sole intention of knocking other people off the track. A game like this, that should not be the premise. I mean, a game like this, when you come into a game like this with the premise of knocking somebody off the track, you are a 100% asshole, and you are coming into this game for the purpose of being an asshole. So, I mean, if this was Need for Speed, I would be okay with getting knocked off the track. But like I said, when you come into a game like this with the purpose of knocking people off the track, you are a 100% asshole, and you come into this race with the purpose of being an asshole, with the purpose of ruining somebody's race. And now Yeah, I'll use the shaming language and use the childhood shit and wonder what the fuck happened to your childhood that you would come into a competitive game with the intentions of ruining it. So, Kimi made a Twitch career of ramming sim racers. Then that means that somebody like him sounds like the type of guy that made a channel with the intentions of being an asshole and irritating people. So be it. He's taking out Rory, Key 25, and Kareth. Oh my God. So this dude is worse than an asshole. He's a skilled asshole because he's taking out some fast racers. Rory and Key and Kareth, those guys are fast. And he went in there with the intentions of wrecking those guys. He had to be a certain level to even be in a race with them. So to go in there with the intentions of taking them out, not only is he fast, he's a fast asshole. He never gets a penalty. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, so he's a plus, which I'm not sure what a plus means, but I'm sure that in GT7 that must be a pretty high rating. Highest rating, like top 500. Oh yeah, so he's skilled. So he ranks among the best on GT7. Oh, we got another YouTuber in here. His ping is terrible though. They need to ban these guys who promote that. Now, I will say that on LFM, if he were to get reported enough times, he would get banned. But a game like GT7, you know why he'll never get banned? Because he's a possible microtransaction customer. If you ban him and he can't play the game, then that's money lost from possible microtransactions. So because that's one of the things that makes GT7 terrible, being structured around those microtransactions, because they're going to do anything to cater to people who may possibly buy microtransactions. Yeah, go ahead, lay your question on me. You have the rig VR in so many sim games. Uh-huh. How come you don't play iRacing? I did. I actually had a 1-year membership for iRacing. I caught it on sale for like 40% off. So it was like $40 for the whole year. So we'll start with that. One reason why
Leaders on final lap time.
I don't see myself ever playing iRacing again because I don't like that subscription model. I don't like the thought of playing I don't like the thought of paying $15 a month for a racing game. Now, to play online and all the shit that I bought, I have to continue that subscription to be able to access all the shit that I bought. So yeah, I bought cars and tracks off of iRacing, and all that shit's gone because my membership is expired. My subscription is expired. I like the thought of just buying a game and be done with it. If you want to put in DLC and card packs and track packs after that, fine, I'll buy it. But the subscription model, no. And then the other thing about it is, the graphics look dated on iRacing. The game looks, it is old, and it looks old. That's another thing I don't care for about iRacing. Another thing I don't care about with iRacing is the cars on iRacing are much more bouncier. So take this Porsche, for instance, that I'm driving in ACC. I drive this same Porsche in iRacing, and it bounces so fucking much, I think that I'm in romper room. And then another thing I don't like about racing are the audio. The cars sound like wind-up toys on iRacing. So for me, there's more reasons not to play iRacing than there is to play iRacing. And I like, if you go back and check my library, I've actually done
Finished the race.
a couple of iRacing streams, but I'm not but no, I'm done. I just then not only that, the site iRacing, when you do an iRacing, you're basically opening up PC windows to enter sessions, and they're not locked. So your account can get exposed to the internet, because every time I go into a session on iRacing, I get a notification from my computer that this site has been known to leak passwords and usernames and shit like that. So, so the last thing I need is like my credit card information and shit like that getting out there. I think Assetto Corsa Competizione is the benchmark and the standard of sim racing. And even though I'm pissing and moaning about getting taken out in this race, I still feel that this is the best racing sim on console and PC. Another game that looks old is R Factor 2. And I was actually going to buy a car pack for R Factor. But after what happened with the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans, where people were getting disconnected and shit like that, at the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans, which is
Go.
the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans in the Daytona 24 hours of Daytona. Those are arguably the biggest races in sim racing right now. So big that there's money on the line. Some of the biggest names in sim racing and real life racing participate in these races. And for the servers to keep crashing the way they did, and I guess people have been complaining about this shit for years and they won't fix it. So that tells me they just sitting there collecting money. And I was about to pay 45 fucking bucks for a car pack. And after that, I said, no. I will not be buying any car packs for a game that has unreliable servers. They're claiming that they got hacked. I would love if GT7 had the pit to change drivers. Don't rule that out. I say that because we can do better in endurance and teams. You know what? That's got to be on their mind. I say that because, you know what? Let me back out of here. I'll come back and do another race. But the car noise is like kind of distracting me. I say this. If you watch the GT7 or the GT Sport, you know, on Gran Turismo TV, when they have those Nations Cups and all that kind of stuff, they have races where they change drivers, but they physically change. You got one driver that's in the booth, that's sitting in the rig, and another person standing next to him. When he pulls into the pits, the guy jumps out of the rig and another guy jumps into the rig. If you're going to have something like that in an actual tournament that's being televised or being streamed through YouTube or Twitch, that's something you have to consider putting in the game. Not to mention that a lot of GT people, a lot of GT7 people want this game in terms of the physics and the events and stuff like that. They want this game to be on the level of ACC. And one of the things that people have complained about with this game is the endurance events. They want 2 hour races, 6 hour races, 12-hour races, 24-hour races. If they did that with GT7, where they had 24-hour races, and some of the biggest names in GT7 were to compete in these races, Key, Tidgney, Rory Alexander, well, most likely not him because he's a family man. He makes it clear that he puts in his time with his family. So I don't think you'll see him in too many of those races. But Tidgney, yeah, you could see him in one of those races because he does those type of races. Um, Z28 Gaming. Even though I haven't watched this content in a while, I'm still sub to his channel. People like him, but the biggest racers in GT7, I would love to see them do some endurance races like that. I don't want 500 laps. I want a 5-hour race. So, yeah, I'd love to see that. And I think that I would actually like to see LFM come to GT7. I would watch more GT7 streams if, yeah, plus creative tournament. Yeah, I would watch more GT7 streams if LFM got involved with GT7. Because the thing about LFM came along at the right time for ACC because the open lobbies were getting stale. And then the competition servers, I've never been able to compete in that because something about the way that shit is weird. It'll say next, competition server, it'll say lobby opens in 19 hours and shit like that. And if you miss it, Kwaski, what's up? If you miss that race, it'll take like the next one that pops up, it'll say, 8 hours before lobby opens and that kind of shit. So I'm not trying to catch shit like that. I'm not trying to sit around for that kind of shit. LFM? Yeah. LFM runs around the clock. So you can look over the schedule and see what race you want to compete in and jump into it. So I'm not going to lie. If LFM had not come along, I can't say how much I would be doing ACC. Now, in the case of GT7, yeah, I've complained about the physics being dialed down to an arcade status because they got to protect their microtransactions, yada, yada, yada. You guys heard me say it. But one of the biggest reasons I don't watch GT7 streams the way I used to is because there's nothing on the line on a lot of these races. It's just a daily race and that's it. In the case of LFM, there's something on the line. Your ELO is on the line. Safety rating is easy to come by in low fuel motorsports, but your ELO is on the line. You're trying to work your way up and gain ELO so you can compete, against a higher tier of racers. So in the case of LFM, not only is it important that you run a clean race, it's also important that you move significantly up. Like they have 3 accounts on A or A plus. I doubt they care when they take it off the track. That might be true, but in comparison to low fuel motorsports, I think the platinum license is the highest license you can get. When you talk about these platinum licenses, now we're talking about the Jardiers. The Keith spun out the other day and was laughing in A plus lobby. Hey, I mean, it happens to the best of them. I was just watching the race this morning where OG UKOG he ended up shutting his stream down because he got wrecked on the first lap. He got taken out, and he just didn't see any point in sitting around a 6 hour race when he's out of it. I'm saying there's nothing on the line for streamers who very good at the game. That's true, but um, like LFM, they care more about their ELO. They're not exactly going to get into a wreck and laugh at it. They're going to get into a wreck. If they get into a wreck, they're going to go back and watch the replay. If it was their fault, they apologize. If it wasn't their fault, the person that took them out might get reported. But again, with LFM, there's something on the line. ELO is on the line. And these guys race as if their lives depended on it. So LFM races are really I enjoy watching the LFM races, and I think if something like LFM were to come to GT7, I would watch more GT7 streams because something would be on the line. And not only that, with GT7, when you have a race where there's no damage and the damage is only cosmetic, you get knocked off the track, you turn into a ghost and you try to get back on the track as quickly as possible. ACC, you get knocked off the track, you're in trouble right from the gate because if you got knocked off the track, you got grass and dirt on your tires. So when you get back on the track, you have to be careful, putting your foot down because there's grass and dirt on the tires and you could easily make the car step out. Um, if you get knocked off the track and you hit the wall, it affects your steering. It affects your arrows. It 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 affects your acceleration, your overall top end speed, and you get forced to have to make a decision whether you need to come into the pits to make a repair or not. With these GT7 streams, if somebody gets knocked off the track, they turn into a ghost and just get right back on the track and get right back to racing. There's nothing exciting about that, in my opinion. Um, with ACC or any other sim racing game that has damage, they have to be careful. So now that part, you need to do lobbies because I've raced in a cup on GT7 with high damage on. So those things happen to me. Okay, so okay, now it's cool that that's been cleared up. This game has high damage. Um, but I would like to see. But it's one streamer who sets it. Okay, so that's cool. But I'd like to see that where there's something on the line. Again, that brings me back to low fuel motorsports. No, it's not unless you make a lobby with the settings. See in a lobby, open lobby like that, where somebody has to make a in terms of there's not much on the line except for the fact that you don't want to get your car wrecked. Again, like a race like LFM, there's you don't want to run the risk of damaging your car. Your ELO is on the line. Um, and that's what it comes down to with ELO races, the LFM races. Those there's so much more on the line, and and every now and then I'll watch an R Factor stream where somebody's doing an LFM race if they're doing GT3 or GTE cars, because GT3 cars are I think when it comes to sim racing I think GT3 cars are undoubtedly the most popular class. But when it comes down to car classes, I would probably say the GTE class is probably my favorite class because you have all the performance of a GT3 but with more power. So, like these GTE cars, if you were to get them on a straight, a long straight, like the Mulsanne straights on Circuit del SR, some of these GTE cars can get close to 200 miles an hour, whereas a GT3 car, uh, you're looking at about 150, 160 miles an hour, maybe 170 if you get a long enough stretch of road. I think like this track, you know what? Let's find out. Let's do a practice lap at Paul Ricard. But this car has terrible straight line speed though. Let's do a practice lap at Paul Ricard though. Because Paul Ricard, as far as this game goes, Paul Ricard has the longest straight. I better drop it down. So I'm going to be really slow on the first lap because I got to get used to this track because I haven't raced on this track in forever. And then you factor in with me being on PS5 and all that shit. Flat screen.
Green light, green light. Go, go, go.
Now, this track right here, before I go any further, this is a track right here where I absolutely must be in VR because this track is flat for the most part. There's not many elevation changes. So a lot of times, by the time you see a turn coming up, you already flew off the track, especially if you don't know this track this well. When I'm in VR, even if I don't know this track that well, I can still make out those turns because of the depth of where those turns are. Let's change that to miles per hour. All right. I found out what I needed to know. There's no need to do a whole lap. I was able to hit 170, but by the time I hit 170, it was too late to try to get ready for the corner. So, but yeah, it's like I said, the GT3 cars, about if you get a long enough straight, I was able to hit 170. But realistically, By the time I would have hit the brakes, I think I probably would have been doing about 165. The faster cars like the BMWs and shit like that might have been able to hit 170 before they would have hit their brake markers. But with a GTE car, I think a GTE car would have done at least 180 down that straight. So yeah, I made my point. There's no need. I think we can go back, check out an open lobby. Um, so this is how important ELO is. Right now, low fuel motorsports for the Coach Dave sprint races are at Snetterton. I do not like Snetterton. I suck at that track. I did a couple of races this week, and what I got for ELO, one race, I qualified 24th, and I finished 16th, and I got 2 ELO. I did a race on Thursday, I believe, on Twitch. Again, I qualified 18th, I believe, and I think I finished like 13th, and I got 4 ELO. And this was a clean race. Both of those races were clean. I didn't get in any wrecks. I didn't get hit with any track limits. Now, if I would have wrecked in either of those races, I would have lost anywhere from 15 to 50 ELO. So that track, the risk outweighs the reward because I'm not very good at that track. It is not a track where you can overtake people. All you can do is just stay behind them and hope they make a mistake and go wide, and then you can go past them once they go off the track. And then you have idiots that are trying to race side by side with you in these tight corners, and they end up bumping you off the track. They know they could get reported, and then they end up sending you this message, oh, sorry. It's just... So the point I'm trying to make is that because of ELO being on the line, I feel like it is better for me to avoid Snetterton and do not participate in any more of those races and just wait until tomorrow and see what the new daily race is going to be. Any other race I'm willing to compete on, but Snetterton is awful. I used to hate Brands Hatch, but I actually like Brands Hatch now. And so actually, as far as these ACC tracks, Snetterton is the only one I don't like. No matter how many times I've tried to race on it, I just don't. Yeah. I didn't like Laguna Seca for quite a while, because Laguna Seca, I feel that track does not have straights long enough for you to try to slipstream someone and overtake them. This It's not a long track. So again, it's not many places for you to try to overtake someone. The only good thing I can say about Laguna Seca are the elevation changes. There's so many hills on that damn track that if somebody puts the power down before they get out of the apex, the cars step out on them, and there's your opportunity to get past them. So I think Laguna Seca is not a track where you have to be fast. I think Laguna Seca is a track where you have to be fast enough to keep up with the pack, and then when they screw up, then you can make a move on them. But tracks like Monza, yeah, you have to be fast. You have to be fast to win. Tracks like I think Bathurst, yeah, it's got a couple of long straights on it. So that's another track where you got opportunities to overtake some people on the straights. The straights are long enough where you can slipstream someone and overtake them. And that's another track where I feel you have to be fast. Um, so yeah, so that's Laguna Seca for you. And I felt like Laguna Seca was a microcosm of a lot of American tracks where they don't have very long straights, a lot of curves and stuff. So it's not many opportunities for overtake. So when you watch a race, if you watch a race on TV at Laguna Seca, it looks like a parade. The cars are single file behind each other. Same thing with Snetterton. The one thing that can make me watch a race at Brands Hatch is that I know the track and I know the dangerous areas of that track. So I know the areas where a wreck is likely to happen. Yeah, overtaking hard. Yeah, it is. Let's go back into multiplayer session. Guess we can either try Spa or try to go back to Silverstone. Somebody said 2 minutes flat here. That's a good lap. That's an excellent lap on console. On PC, the aliens are doing 158s, and then you have that one person that's a total freak. This turns into 157. Um, I'm getting super thirsty, so after this race, I definitely got to grab a drink. Ooh, excuse me, folks. Yeah, Vegeta, I set a personal best at Barcelona on GT7 yesterday. Not only is it my personal best on GT7, it's my personal best across the board. Um, I set a 145.1 on GT7 yesterday at Barcelona. My fastest lap on ACC would be a 145.8. So I shattered my personal best. So that's my personal best across any sim at Barcelona. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And um, once again, after this race, I'll once again remind everybody of what my plan is as far as the format's going to go between how I plan to stream content between my three channels. Oh, this is a 15-minute race. I put too much fuel in the car, but I'll leave it though because the extra fuel is actually added weight to the front of the car because I believe the gas tank is in the front of the car. So as the race goes on and the car burns fuel, the front end of the car will get lighter, causing making the car understeer easier. So one thing that I have to stay disciplined about is as the
Ready,
race
set.
wears on and the car gets lighter in the front from the fuel depleting, I have to remember to start braking early so I can keep the car under control going in the corners. But I can't get out of that habit of braking early because I feel like the earlier you brake, the more time you lose. Whereas actually the opposite, depending on how early you brake.
Stay in double file.
Still such a beautiful game.
Green light. Leave it all again.
Saw that hiccup there.
There's a slow car up ahead. Yellow flag, be careful. Car on the right. Clear on the right. There's a slow car up ahead.
I know I'm not supposed to use first gear on this track, but I'm gonna explain it to you why I'm doing it after the race. because when I'm on PC, I don't drop down the first gear. God damn it.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that after this race.
Slow car ahead. Yellow flag, be careful. Car on the left.
Yeah, he's determined to take his spot back, so I'll give it to him.
Yellow flag, be careful. Slow car ahead. Clear on the right.
Hold downshift first corner, stay in fifth. All right.
This is me, Russell West.
Ah!
Got some light damage on the front of the car.
And that's part of the reason why I downshift through these corners is the engine brake. I know it makes me much slower. But in the case of this being flat screen, it's like I've said about racing flat screen. It's not VR, so a lot of the shit that's way down there. Tires are cold. Well, not anymore. They're a little bit roasted now.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
Tire pressures. So I get that about the tire pressures. So my question is do I inflate them to like 26 psi and then let them blow up to
Yellow flag is
27?
set to on.
Or do I put them at 27 right from the start and then let them blow up to 28? Oh shit! Oh, now I'm trying to read the chat. I'm straight fucking up. All right, let me get my marbles back first. Okay.
Yellow flag accepted. Yellow flag, be careful.
All right, here we go. Oh, I know I messed up on that one because I was supposed to carry some speed in there. So, Rambo, if you're watching, I drive this track totally different on PC when I'm in VR. Because I turn in on PC, I turn in 201s, 2 minutes flat. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell you why my racing line is off is because I'm racing flat screen instead of VR. I race much better in VR. And one of the things that I was saying about racing flat screen, that a lot of times I don't even see the corner until it's right there on me. Whereas when I'm racing in VR, I see everything. So I know a corner is coming up and I can judge when I will approach that corner. Whereas when you're racing flat screen, everything in the distance is so small and then it comes at you faster than you think. And when it finally hits you, I'm reacting late and it takes me wide and makes me fly off the corner. So, like, whatever track times you see me turn in on ACC on PS5, I'm like 4 seconds faster on PC. So, case in point would be this track. You see me turning in 206s, but on PC I turn in 2 minutes. I turn in 2 minutes flats, 201s. Oh yeah, I'll definitely race you on PC. What is I'm sure if you have this game on PC, I'm sure you probably got it on Steam. That being said, what's your Steam ID so I can send you a friend request?
The leader has finished the race.
Because, like, I'll put it this way, Ramboy. The tips that you're giving me are good, and I think they'll work better for me on PC when I'm in VR and I can see everything. Whereas, as I was saying, racing flat screen, everything that's in the distance is so small, and then it goes from this to this. And then by the time I see it, it's too late. I'm reacting too late. I'm flying off the track. In VR, I see all that shit. It's like, however far away it is, that's where I see it at. I can judge in VR, I can judge how far away a corner is. I can judge how fast I'm approaching that corner. I can judge where I'm supposed to brake at, all this shit. Whereas racing flat screen, like I said, everything goes from being in the distance to boom, right in your face. And I'm two totally different racers when I race flat screen and when I race in VR. So that race at Zolder, the advice you gave me was huge. But this is my first time being back on ACC since that day that you saw me race at Zolder. And so there's an adjustment period again. After racing in VR for like the last 2-3 weeks, getting back on flat screen, there's an adjustment to be made. And that was the biggest reason why I said this is probably going to be my last ACC stream on PS5, because having to flip-flop back and forth between flat screen and VR fucks me up. I'm not getting any faster. I'm constantly adjusting instead of learning. So you need to check tire PSI now so you fix the next race. Okay, so I've gone with the aggressive preset, and that's the PSI right there. Yeah, the tires right there. Oh. Yeah, when I was back here, oh, the pit stop strategy. Okay, I got you. I get you with what you were saying right now. If I like at the pit stop strategy, if I would have adjusted the PSI there, it's not starting to race like that. I got you. Left front up at point 4. Right front point 7. All right. Left rear 10. So okay. So we're going up to 25.9. Oh, okay. Oh, unfortunately, in order for you to see all the readings, I have to shut the camera off because my image is blocking the camera. But left rear 0.8, so I got to go back down 2 then. Because I brought it up. Left rear started out at 24.9. I brought it up to 25.9, so I took it back down 2 notches. So right rear is the last one that we need to adjust. You know what? You know something, Ramboy? Do you watch any race? Do you watch any ACC on Twitch? What 27.1? Which one? 20. Okay. Okay, we'll get to the Twitch thing in a second. Which tires are you saying? Left rear 27.1? Oh, right rear 27. Said 26.6 for the right rear. Oh, you know what? Oh, now I see why practice laps are so important, because it's showing what my PSI was, my last readings, and what the pressure was once the tires got hot. Save setup. Hey, I just saved my first. I think I just saved my first setup on ACC on PS5, but unfortunately, it's going to be all for naught. Save is 25C31 track. 25C31 track. Okay, now about the Twitch thing, Ramboy. I've got 3 channels. I've got this channel, I've got the Godfather of VR, and I got Twitch. The reason why I asked about Twitch is because when I race on PC, my LFM live streams, when I do the LFM races on PC, I do it on Twitch because I think Twitch is better for LFM. The races are, the streams are more exciting, and you see some of the best racers in the world, and I think the Twitch integration for LFM is better than YouTube. When somebody goes live for YouTube, LFM will tell you that they're live, and then when you click on the link, it'll take you to their homepage and you don't see any stream. Whereas Twitch, if you click on a link, you'll see multiple streams and then just pick the one you want to watch. So I do my LFM live streams on Twitch, and not only that, when people text you, when they make comments on Twitch, it's in real time. And it's not a situation like with YouTube where if you make a comment, it takes like 10, 15, 20 seconds for that comment to reach me. And then when I respond, it takes like another 10, 15 seconds for you to get my response. With Twitch, a lot of that stuff is in real time. So what I'm asking you to do is follow me on Twitch so you can give me all these setups, you like all this, the advice and stuff like that you're giving me. Help me with that on Twitch when I'm racing in VR, and all that stuff will work better in VR than it will here flat screen. Because the one thing that won't seem to change when I'm racing in flat screen is this shit goes from being that far to right here, boom, right in my face, and then I'm reacting late and flying off the track. I can, like I was saying, I can see all that stuff in VR. I can see it all in the background, and I can prepare for it. So if you tell me to, like, it, when I'm in VR, if you tell me to take a turn a certain way, if I don't do it right, it won't be because I didn't see the track. It's because I either misjudged how fast I was coming in, not enough brake, too much brake, what have you. But here, flat screen, like I was saying, everything, name for Twitch is Lincoln Clay. It's Lincoln _Clay. So actually, give me a second. I'm going to, because I don't have any way to do it in the stream. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to run to my computer and I'm going to put a link to my Twitch channel in the chat. So 1 second. Okay, so So that's my Twitch channel. Follow me on Twitch because that's where I do all my live LFM streams. I'm I'm on Eastern time in North America, so I usually do LFM streams around 5 p.m. Eastern time. You know, for the Coach Dave sprint races, they happen every 15 minutes past the hour. So to be precise, I normally join the 5:15 races at 5 p.m. Eastern time, or in the UK it would be 10:30. So you're live. You have a Twitch channel? If you have a Twitch channel, what's the Twitch channel? I'll look it up right now. Or YouTube. Okay. Oh, where you live? I live in Michigan. Oh, you gonna make a Twitch channel? Oh shit. Oh, you in Boston? Boston, George. I think Boston George and Whitey Bulger probably the two most famous dudes in Boston, correct? As far as gangsters go. Well, let's do a couple of laps with this setup. Let's see what we got here. So go let me finish the Kane on Twitch. Okay. All right. Once you get your Twitch channel set up, let me know. If I'm no longer streaming, once you get done, just simply put it in the comments section, and I'll follow you on Twitch. Because I'll definitely follow you on Twitch, because not only any advice that you give me, you can show it to me as well. Cut across that rumble strip. Ah!
Landing validated. Yellow flag, be careful.
So, yeah, in that higher gear, the car is going to slide unless I trail brake it through there. Oh shit! Somebody turned into 159 in here. One thing that I can admit, a lot of the understeer I deal with is on me because I'm so scared of oversteering that I don't turn the wheel enough.
Yellow flag is activated.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yellow flag, be careful. There's a slow car up ahead. Yellow flag is activated.
I'll have to come back and check that in a second. come back and check those comments in the section. I'll come back and check those in a second. Yeah, a little bit better.
Yellow flag is set on.
I mean, compared to last race, I definitely knocked off a couple of seconds.
Your lap time is invalidating. Please try to stay on the track.
So, gear selection. The reason why I do the gear selection the way I do, and I know it makes me slower, is fear. Fear of oversteer. The thing that has killed me from the beginning with this game is snap oversteer. So for the past couple of years, I have played with force feedback settings, played with everything you can think of to put myself in a position where I have to make a conscious effort to oversteer. And so ultimately, like with this wheelbase right here, this DD1,
Yellow flag is set on.
I have gone as far as turning the force feedback up to 75% to give me more resistance. What I'm trying to say is that the reason why I go with the gear selection is the engine braking helps control the car through curves, because I am terrified of oversteer. If I come into a corner too early and I crank the wheel, it's going to oversteer and the car is going to step out. And then, well, like I said, we got the other side of the coin with me racing flat screen. Yeah, I know I'm a hardhead right there. I'm a hardhead with the Porsche. I know the Porsche is one of the hardest cars to drive, but I've been driving it for years. Both Porsches. For as difficult as this car is to drive, I like it, and I feel a sense of loyalty to the car. I've tried other cars before, but basically what ended up happening was I turned in the same lap times with the other cars that I did with the Porsche. But in all fairness, I didn't put in the kind of time with the other cars that I did with the Porsche.
second.
You said go arrow as in... Oh, you mean in the setup? I got you. Oh, I know where you're going with that.
Going double file.
More downforce. I got you. Oh, the brake duct.
Green light. Give it all you can. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
What a jerk.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
I didn't try to take him out, but he should not have been trying to overtake me in the curves. This is the kind of dumb shit that I see in LFM. I definitely lost speed there because he carried momentum through there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
God damn it, that hiccup killed me. Shit, missed my breaking point.
There's a slow car up ahead. Car on the left. Clear on the left. There's some light damage on the left of the car.
Yeah, we can do PC. Oh yeah, don't forget to send me your Steam your Steam account or Steam name so I can send you a friend request.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Leaders on the final lap.
All right, I think it's time to lick my wounds. Yeah, Ramboy. Yeah, if you would put your Steam name in the
Faster car coming up behind you.
chat, and I'll send you a friend request and look for the same name that you see here, Lincoln Clay, on Steam.
Faster car coming up behind. Watch out.
So I think it's time to go ahead and jump on over to PC because
Faster car coming up behind. Watch out.
because I'm terrified of missing my break points and terrified of oversteering and stuff. I can't relax. I'm basically racing with my ass cheek clenched. Anybody knows that scary feeling. But, I mean, on a positive note, I was headed for a 204.4, which is about 4 seconds better than what I was doing before we made these adjustments. So I jump over to PC. You know, I don't know if you guys want to watch the stream or not.
Neither has finished the race.
You know, if I stream on PC, I don't know if you guys would be interested in watching me race on PC wearing the VR headset. But I promise you, hey Boris, how's it going? I promise you guys, I'm faster on PC. Like I said, even on my worst lap on PC, I'll turn in a 202. So, boy, I tell you, Boris, these knuckleheads make it hard on this game, especially on console. You know, that's probably more or less me being discriminate, because we got idiots. You know, we got idiots on PC that do the same shit. But that last race, full red player lobby yesterday on Xbox, I left it. You know, Boris, I've been wondering, like, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you see more wrecks on console than you do on PC? And if that would be true, why not race on PC more? I'm also led to believe that the competition is stiffer on PC, especially with LFM. Even though there's idiots on there, I get that.
Green light, give us all you can.
I'll say that the wrecks that happen on console, the reasons why they happen are all over the place. But the wrecks that happen on PC, low fuel motorsports in particular, it's because somebody took a dumb chance. These guys on low fuel motorsports know how to drive. When they cause a wreck, it's because somebody took a dumbass chance. And it could be avoided. It's easier for the new player to pick up a controller and jump on console. Yeah, I was saying that a little while ago, Boris, before you got here. I was saying that the thing about, in my opinion, the thing about racing on console versus PC is that on console there are more people with controllers. And the likelihood of a wreck happening on console, you know, versus PC, you know, the likelihood of it works in the favor of console. More wrecks tend to happen on console. This game on console, you know, I definitely think that people being on controllers factor into it. But games like Forza Motorsports, the wrecks happen because those guys over there are outright dirty. I don't have any problem saying that. People over on Forza are some of the dirtiest racers that I've ever been on the track with. Yeah, when it's free to play or a free weekend, more novices turn up. Oh, yeah. Totally agree with that. So I'm leaning heavily towards shutting this stream down and jump on PC and start streaming on PC. Um, and as I was saying, this is, as the title said, this will probably be my last ACC stream on PS5. Because I said this at the beginning of the stream for those who didn't catch it. Once PSVR 2 launches, I'm going to be streaming more GT7 content. I'm going to be streaming LFM races over on Twitch, and I'm going to be streaming everything VR. You joining later? Sims in 1 hour. What time is it? In 1 hour? Damn, because I have to pick my son up. And I wouldn't mind joining that because I like Hungaroring. It's a 1 hour race. How long before it starts? About 3 hours from now. That might be a tough one. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to make that race because that'll be 2 o'clock Eastern time, and by that time I'll be on the road picking up my son, and my son lives almost an hour from here. So I wouldn't be able to make that race. If they do a race later in the day, or depending on if they do a race tomorrow, depending on what time, I might be able to make that. But yeah, I have my son every Saturday, and he stays overnight. And basically, I head out. Or, well, if anything changes, jump in. Absolutely. Damn it, I'm getting hungry. So, yeah, I wanna get some. This is not the way I want to go out. So, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this stream down. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat, and then I'm gonna come back on PC. And I'll be looking like an alien when I come back on PC, but I will be faster. So, right, need to go do jobs. Have a good rest of your day. See you later. Thanks, Boris. Appreciate you popping in, and I'll be on the lookout for your stream as well. Wait, 1 second. Hold on, folks. Just Boris that was in the chat. Give him a sub. He does ACC on Xbox and on PC, and he is definitely faster than me. So if you want to see a faster guy behind the wheel, he normally drives the BMW. So if you want to check out some good racing, sub to Just Boris, who was in the chat. Just highlight his name. It should let you highlight his name, and then just go right to his channel. Or, you know what? Hold on, Boris. I'm going to give you a wrench. Okay, Boris. Before you go, you are now a moderator. So if you would be so kind, you could put a link to your channel in the chat. So if Boris is still watching, folks, just hang on a second. And hopefully he'll post a link to his channel in the chat, and go give him a sub. There you go. That's the link to Boris's channel. Like I said, he's definitely faster than me. I pay attention to his lap times. As I said, on PC, I turn in 2:01s, 2 minutes. Boris turns in like 1:58s on this track. So go check him out. He's definitely faster than me. uh, and very entertaining to watch, to say the least. No problem, Boris. Um, so I'll see you guys in a little while. Let's grab a bite to eat and then come back on PC. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever, as you see with the Black Panther here. Wakanda forever. Just checked in. Okay, so yeah, if you subbed Just Boris, he put his link in the chat. Check him out. Like I said, he's faster than me. He's a cool guy, and you'll definitely like it. He races on Xbox and PC. So give him a sub. All right, folks. We'll see you all in a little bit on PC. Till then, Wakanda forever. Long live the king, and deuces.